Welcome back to McNulty's Book Corral. I am going to do 3 recommendations today, and it's pretty warm outside, and I thought that I would sit out here in the shade for a moment. Hopefully this will come up clear on the camera. Not that you need to see my withered old face close up, but we're gonna cover a couple of really interesting books. We are going to cover some Gothic thrillers, and first up is Elsie Lee's Mansion of Golden Windows. This is from 1966. And I'll have a scan coming up here of this fantastic cover artwork. Elsie Lee was born in 1912 and she died in 1987. And my camera is moving. That's interesting. And, there's spirits here in the woods. Elsie Lee wrote over 30 books. They were generally Gothic thrillers, Gothic mysteries, and so forth. In this particular book, which is fantastic, this is really a great book. Sable Lennox goes to Scotland to investigate the ancestral past as a favor to her aunt, and from there you get the usual unraveling of mysteries, familial relationships, and romance and suspense built upon suspense with a dash of romance. This is a very, very well-written book, so if you ever see this on the aftermarket or if you're interested in it, I would recommend that you go to eBay and find it. Excellent book by Elsie Lee. And again, the cover artwork, for those of you interested in vintage paperback cover artwork, this is pretty hard to top. That is a superb painting. And I don't think that it gives the artist in here. Let me look at Mite. No, it does not. This is a Lancer book from 1966. Mansion of Golden Windows by Elsie Lee. For those of you interested in high-quality creative writing and good suspense thrillers, this is probably as good as or better, perhaps, than some of the suspense thrillers on the market today, in my humble Wild West opinion. All right, so that is... I've been wanting to get to that book for some time because I really love it. That goes back a long way with me. So up next, we're going to talk about another one. So I'm sorry, I have to go back to this. You'll see the castle in the background. She goes to Scotland for this. Of course, I'm partial to Scotland, and I'm going back next year to Scotland. And there's an ancient evil and so forth, and mysteries and all that. But the cover artwork, there's always this plot device to go to an ancestral home or a moody old castle or mansion, very much in the vein of du Maurier's Rebecca, which I covered in a previous episode, which is the top of the line of Gothic-style suspense thrillers. So these books, I have no doubt, were all inspired by Daphne du Maurier and Rebecca, going to a castle, a home, a mansion, and so forth. So she goes to Scotland in this one. In the next one, which is Ravenkill by Paulette Warren, she goes to Maine, and there's a moody old mansion there. Again, the cover artwork on this is superb, just absolutely superb. All right, so some words about Paulette Warren. For those of you that recall a previous episode some time ago, Paulette Warren was really Paul W. Fairman, Paul Warren Fairman, who was a science fiction writer, and he wrote Gothic thrillers under the name Paulette Warren. He was born in 1909. He died in 1977. He was the editor of Amazing Stories and Fantastic, 2 great pulp magazines. And in this one, I'm just going to read the back to you because it's a better synopsis than what I could give you. John Bellarmine invited Jennifer Wonderly, isn't that a great name? Jennifer Wonderly, to the gloomy old Maine mansion, and then refused to allow his lovely young guest to see him. Ooh, boy, it's really good though. Paul Fairman was a great writer. Then there's this mystery about Margot Bellarmine and her husband. Did they really die when they fell from the cliffs above Hissing Cove years ago? Again, you're going to an ancestral home, an old mansion, an old castle, whatever. This is a mansion in Maine, and there's mysteries and things to uncover. There's a servant who's mysterious, of course, and then there's an impetuous young artist named Garth McCroy. Okay, sorry about that edit there. I had a visitor walk down the driveway. So we're back to Paulette Warren. Paul W. Fairman, and we're going to finish up real quick here. Again, fantastic cover artwork on this, and really a superbly written, superbly written books. This one is from 1965, and this 66, 65, and then we're going to finish up with Phyllis A. Whitney. I should probably do an episode devoted to Phyllis A. Whitney just by herself. Phyllis A. Whitney was born in 1903, died in 2008. She still has a active website that I think her fans or family run. She wrote over 70 novels. They're almost all exclusively romantic thrillers. And in this one, it's called Silver Hill. I'll have a scan of this. Again, we have the mansion. This, I believe, was New Hampshire. Different off-the-road locations. Silver Hill, excuse me, I have to look at my notes, had been her mother's home, and so Melinda Price goes there, and the same things ensue. You have a mansion to go to, a spooky old house. You have some ancestral mysteries and relationships that need to be clarified, uncovered. There's a dash of romance. There's always a mysterious man, and they are usually in conflict until the resolution puts them together in some type of embrace. Not necessarily romantically, but, well, it is romantically. It just depends on the writer. These are 3 superbly written novels, and that's the point that I'm making here. Really fantastic. Elsie Lee, Paulette Warren, and Phyllis A. Whitney. I am going to be getting to Victoria Holt in the future, probably not till the fall. I'm going to give her an episode by herself, because she's pretty good too. These are great novels to read if you like well-written suspense, and I want to mention that, especially with Phyllis A. Whitney and Elsie Lee, the action scenes they wrote are on par with anything a male could write. There has long been this misconception, which I think has been shot down, that female suspense writers cannot maintain that level of suspense that their male counterparts have done over the decades, and that is absolutely not true. Take a look at Sarah Paretsky's fantastic books, which I'll be covering her in the future, by the way. A really fun little anecdote about meeting her when I cover one of her books. I'm going to cover a few more contemporary novelists in the future. I do love the retro, but we're going to push ahead and try and do some different things in the future weeks and months ahead. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully this will be a shorter episode. I tried to keep it really short. 3 quick recommendations. Fantastic thrillers, from the spinner rack of yesteryear. These are books that I think are worth your time to check out. They are fantastic, beautifully written Gothic suspense thrillers with a dash of romance thrown in. And now, if I'm quite ready, I'm going to take the hat off and I'm going to go in that boat and I'm going to go fishing. Stay well. Stay happy. Feed your brain, please. Read a book.